Have you ever imagined a world where you could pay for something on Amazon using Pi? Sounds futuristic, right? But that future might be closer than we think. Recently, Dr. Nicholas, who many believe is the true force behind the Pi network, hinted at something huge, the possibility of a Pay with Pi button showing up on Amazon's platform. While that might sound far-fetched at first, it's these kinds of bold ideas that have kept the Pi network conversation alive and growing stronger. Let's take a step back and look at what's really happening behind the scenes with Pi. This isn't just another crypto project that promises the moon with no real progress. In fact, the data right now paints a picture that's hard to ignore. Pi network is no longer just about mobile mining, it's transforming into something much bigger. Their recent updates show a clear shift toward becoming a full-fledged Web3 platform. That alone signals they're not just aiming to survive in the crypto world. They're gearing up to lead it. But what really caught my attention recently is the integration with a third-party service called TransFi. It now allows users to purchase Pi using fiat currency, making it more accessible and easier to obtain than ever before. You no longer need to jump through hoops or navigate confusing exchange platforms. This is game-changing, because whenever an asset becomes easier to acquire, interest naturally spikes. More people will get in. Demand increases. Momentum builds. Now let's talk about what sets Pi apart. While most cryptocurrencies fight for relevance, Pi is quietly building an entirely new financial framework, one that could genuinely challenge the current centralized systems. With lightning-fast transactions, extremely low fees, and strong compliance with KYC, Know Your Customer, and KYB, Know Your Business, protocols, Pi isn't just another coin. It's being structured to serve as a legitimate financial ecosystem. And only a handful of people truly grasp that. But it's not all smooth sailing. There's a storm potentially brewing on the horizon. In the coming days, about 156 million Pi tokens, worth roughly $68 million, could enter the market. With the token currently hovering just above its all-time low, this could cause a dip that sends prices even lower. Some analysts believe it might drop below 30 cents. Scary? Maybe. But also a possible golden opportunity for those who can see the long-term vision. Pi's security protocols are also evolving. Migration processes now include two-factor authentication, and pioneers must follow a more structured verification through the Mainnet checklist. These extra layers of protection show that the development team is serious about safeguarding user assets, something you definitely want to see in a legitimate project with long-term goals. But there's still confusion in the community. Many users mistakenly equate the displayed by price in the app with Pi's true value. The truth is, what you see is more about utility rights than actual market valuation. Pi operates on a dual value model. On one hand, there's utility value, what Pi can be used for within its ecosystem. On the other, there's market value, what it's worth on the open exchange. Unfortunately, many people don't yet understand that the value you can earn through contributing to the network is different from simply buying a token and hoping it rises. Now let's take a wild, but thought-provoking leap. Imagine a scenario where Pi becomes part of the US government's toolkit, maybe as a solution for national debt or integrated into a digital welfare infrastructure. It could potentially work alongside the dollar rather than against it. While this idea may sound like science fiction, remember that today's technological revolutions often started with what sounded like impossible dreams. Blockchain, crypto, and AI have already changed the world in unexpected ways. Pi could be part of the next wave. So where does Pi network actually stand today in terms of traction? The numbers are staggering. Over 65 million users from more than 200 countries have joined the network. That's not just impressive, it's unheard of for a project that hasn't even hit Tier 1 exchange listings yet. On social media, Pi has over 4.3 million followers on X, formerly Twitter, trailing only Bitcoin and Binance. That kind of reach says a lot about community engagement and belief in the vision. More than 18 million users have completed KYC verification, and over 13 million have already migrated their tokens to wallets. These are not dormant accounts, these are real people actively participating in the ecosystem. With over 400,000 active nodes, the Pi network also boasts one of the most decentralized and robust infrastructures in the space today. The development side is ramping up, too. There's a $100 million Pi Ventures fund backing projects that will enhance real-world use cases. Tools like Pi App Studio and AI-assisted dApp creation are already live. Apps and games like Fruity Pi and services like Pi Domains are functional, not just white paper promises. The Pi Ad network is another critical step, allowing developers to monetize their apps through targeted advertising. And don't overlook adoption. More than 27,000 merchants across regions like Asia, Africa, and Latin America are now accepting Pi as payment. That's real-world use, not speculative hype. The integration of the Buy Pi feature inside the wallet app also makes onboarding new users frictionless, even for people who aren't crypto-savvy. Of course, the elephant in the room is the price. Pi has dropped around 85% from its early 2025 highs. It's been a rough few months, and some are calling it one of the year's biggest crypto disappointments. The hype around its mainnet launch didn't translate into immediate, widespread adoption. Exchange listings were delayed. Pioneers who had waited years for their tokens to go live began selling. Critics labeled it a ghost chain. But let's be real. Every major project, including Bitcoin and Ethereum, faced similar growing pains. Remember when Amazon stock tanked 94% during the dot-com crash? Look where it is now. The ones who held through the uncertainty were the ones who reaped the biggest rewards. The Pi Foundation has taken criticism over centralization and lack of transparency around token control. These concerns are valid and must be addressed. But also remember this, no scam project builds for 6 years straight. No scam project invests this much time into developing real infrastructure. The team behind Pi isn't rushing to list, and that caution might just be what protects it long term. To wrap this up, Pi Network isn't just another crypto project chasing hype. It's laying the foundation for something that could fundamentally reshape how we interact with digital assets. The real question is, will you be watching from the sidelines, or will you be part of the movement? Just remember, none of this is financial advice. Always do your own research and consult a financial advisor before making any investment decisions. But if you're as curious as I am about the future of finance, keep your eyes on Pi. This story is just getting started.